Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and buckle up. We've got a long match here, a really good game against my man David. He's playing Sakazuki, and I'm not entirely sure how Reiju tends to do into Sakazuki, but this was definitely a grind. This was a fight to the end, and as you can see, my opponent got some pretty solid cards in that starting hand. 2 Hound Blazes, 1 Ama, and a Sabo and a brand new, so he's looking pretty solid. I choose to mulligan. Didn't enjoy my starting hand as much, but this time around I do end up seeing the stage, so pretty stoked about that. If you watched yesterday's game, it felt like that stage was eluding me pretty hard. But I'm gonna go ahead and tap that, cycle out the Kaya and pick up a Sora here. I was hoping to see some of my pieces, but unfortunately just end up, trading a 2k for a 2k. He gets that brand new down though and picks up the Ice Age. Really smart, because getting rid of a lot of my top end cards is very easy when you do have that card in hand. So my opponent has a ton of removal but a lack of counter in hand. I'm going to go ahead and trash the 4-cost Reiju though and pick up Ichiji. I love having this card in not only this matchup, but every matchup. Just feels so good to have it. And I do have 5 in hand, which is really nice for me, being able to do my Reiju play. I get to draw another one for leader, and then I also have the Germa Search. So pretty solid start for both of us, honestly. I pick up the 7-cost here, so getting that into trash the following turn will be really nice. And I do end up just passing here instead of swinging 5 with lead. I think that was a misplay. I don't... I'm not entirely sure, but I think that was a misplay on my part. I think I probably just forgot in the moment. I was like, I did everything I needed to do. Just pass. Yeah. But at least getting him down a life here would have been really nice. So a little unfortunate to start us off, but it is what it is. And he's just going to trash the Sabo. Picks up a Rebecca, I believe, off of this. But being at 4 Dawn, he doesn't have much of a play, especially with what he has in hand. There is an opportunity to get rid of Reiju here, and he would be losing one of his removal cards. So as unfortunate as that would be for us to kind of not have Reiju either on board or just in life, or in trash, excuse me. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I'm just going to counter out with the 5-cost Niji. Like to have this in trash because I know that I'm going to more than likely at some point during this match have to bounce probably bounce a Kuzan or a Borsalino or something of the sorts. Not really too many 2-cost cards that need to be KO'd in this matchup. I mean, brand new is annoying, but it's not that annoying. I'm just going to cycle out the Ichiji. Just taking a look at the hand again just to see what we got. I do just pick up the Sora. I had an opportunity to pick up the Germa 6/6 event, but I felt as though my hand was pretty decent at this point, at this stage in the game. And I was hoping that swinging into Hina here, he would maybe give me a card, but no card at all. So I was a little bummed out about that. So I'm just going to go 5 into life. He does take this and ends up getting another Ice Age, so his hand is just chock full of removal. It's pretty insane. I know that looking at my hand, I'm more than likely going to lose the Reiju or something the next turn, so I decide to take that off the Germa 6 search. And now with the 3 Dawn remaining, I can just play out Niji, which is, yep, looking like what we're going to do. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any threats the following turn for multiple swings into life, so I decided to just get rid of the brand new. Bouncing back Rebecca definitely just doesn't feel as good. Feels like my opponent's probably just going to get more value out of that than leaving it on the board, because I'm going to be doing a lot of 5k swings here, and my opponent's either going to block with the Rebecca or give me cards out of hand. And as soon as I play maybe the 7-cost Ichiji next turn, you know, it's a pretty free block for him, but it at least gets a card off the board. We're going to see 7, I believe, into Reiju here. Yet again, just looking at my opponent's hand, he's got insane removal. I am going to get that 4 cost into trash, though, and counter out with a Sora. I believe he uses Ice Age and Great Eruption on both of these to hit me with the Ama no Marakumo. And now, unfortunately, I lost both of them off the board. But at least we got, like, arguably 2 cards out of hand. Or excuse me, definitely 2 cards out of hand. The Great Eruption just kind of nets him, you know, no minus there. But look at us just high rolling, getting another Ichiji. So I'm happy with that. This leaves me a very easy play for that, and then being able to swap out the 7 cost, I can now just get 1 Dawn remaining for either a 6k swing, or I could potentially use one of the event cards. And I told my opponent that I forgot to draw for the Ichiji, so he's nice enough. He was like, yeah, it's all good, because we're just playing a local match. I do get the 5k swing through. He's deciding whether he wants to take this or counter out. He has options, but I don't think he's sweating it too much that taking here isn't like the worst thing in the world. So easy take. Does pick up the Rebecca, blocks with the blocks with the Rebecca real fast, and then I've got myself a little search, and we find another Ichiji. I'm finding all of them, so I'm happy, but my opponent also has been seeing pretty much all of his removal. So Ice Age, Houndblaze here, very annoying. There is the threat of potentially 8-cost Moria on this turn as well. So if he's deciding to go that route, it could be slightly annoying, but with the Rebecca in hand, I think that he has like a pretty decent play of like a Rebecca Hina, but he's gonna cycle out that Suru here and go a 5k into life. I'm happy with seeing the 2k go into trash, because I know that more often than not, I just need to have the 7k swing from Ichiji connect to my opponent, and we should be just looking fine. He is gonna swing 5, and I will counter out of this, but Rebecca Hina Lucci, the good old RHL, gets rid of my Ichiji, but thank God it's in trash, because, you know, I want to have as many of those in trash as possible, because I do have like 2 more of the 4 costs in hand right now, and I can lower down Hina, and now we've got 3 of them in trash. That's pretty incredible. I do end up picking up the 3-cost Niji here. I know that as soon as Moria hits the board, I can expect like seeing a Kuzan play, or potentially like a Kuzan brand new, since he's in. I know that 2 life probably isn't what you would consider healthy, but for Sakazuki, that's fairly healthy. They're looking good. They've got multiple ways to get cards back into hand, and to keep like recycling resources. And yeah, he's looking solid right now. I know that I have to manage the board, but at the same time, I do need to see some other pieces, so I am going to choose to go for Queen here, get to draw 2, and then trash 1, and then draw another with the leader effect. I wanted to be a little more aggressive this turn and play down Ichiji, but I wanted to have Queen on the board at least before I do the play the following turn. I had Judge set up as well, but I just I felt like I was in a weird spot. I know I'm probably going to be taking some hits here. I've got plenty of cards in hand, so I can get out of them very easily, but I can't get to Judge like comfortably. It just doesn't feel like, maybe that's where I'm missing something in this deck, is in this matchup, it felt like getting to Judge was a task and a half, because I felt like my board kept getting removed. I was trying to remove as much of his as possible as well. We're going to counter out of the 5k and take the 6k, picking up yet again another 4 cost. So pretty solid, all things considered. What am I doing? What? Did I just like forget that I have a queen? Or I think I just forgot that I have a queen. Man, I misplayed super hard this game. Okay, so missing the 5k swing at the start of the game and then just not blocking with queen and giving a 2k? What is wrong with me? Yeah, it looks as though that's the case though. Okay, brand new picks up a Vergo 2k counter. He does develop a Kuzan onto the board. Maybe I had thoughts of like I needed to get my hand size within a certain range for me to use Reiju. That's the only thing I could think of in this exact moment. But I'm just going to use the 4 cost, bring out that 7 cost, and now I can lower down Lucci. Can try and get many resources out of his hand this turn, because I know that I have a pretty good game plan for bouncing back Kuzan at least. He does counter out of this, yeah, that 5k swing on the Rob Lucci. And now if he wants to counter out of the 6k, he's going to have to give me 2 more cards out of hand. So I'm okay with that, personally. I'm trying to remove the entire board, and I think my opponent is, like, not feeling too great about it. He knows that he's probably got to keep this card on board, at least for the time being. I am just going to use Niji, though, to get down, or bounce back that Kuzan. And now, with the stage, I can just kind of set up what my next turn is going to look like. Lucky just drawing into a lot of the 2Ks. It felt like we drew really well this game, but a lot of these misplays are probably going to come back to haunt me a little bit. He cycles out the Kuzan that I bounced, and now through the Tashigi search, I think I end up doing like a small skip on the video here, because not only during one of my searches, but my opponent's search here, we did take like quite a bit of time to just think about what the option needed to be. He ends up picking up another Borsellino, but I mean, as you can see looking at his hand, it is just chock full of removal. So he's got very good options here and probably just clearing my entire board. He is going to go 6 into queen. I know that he's still got plenty of Dawn left, so countering out of this is pretty free, but at the same time, I know that I'm probably staring down a pretty big Moria swing into my 7 cost. But now we'll see 7 into queen. I'll go ahead and 2k once again. We do see the -1 from leader as well as the Great Eruption onto Niji. This is just going to be a very easy Hound Blaze. Probably attached to... Yeah, probably attached to the 8 cost Moria. And then play a Borsellino if I had to take a guess. So remove the Niji, swing big into the 7 cost. But oh, a little bit different. Okay, so Ice Age. We're going to remove the... okay, I see what he's going for here. So removes my 5 cost, and now swinging 6 with brand new. I do unfortunately have to let the queen die. And now just another bottom deck of the 7 cost. Big like 12k swing into life. No way I can get out of that. And the tempo swing is rough here. If we were able to play Judge, I do think that we could bounce back in this exact moment, but I'm just 1 Dawn short, and I know that if I don't play 2 of my cards, I'm not really going to be able to survive. And so unfortunately I have to cycle out the Judge here. So I think that I missed up. I feel like I messed up on 1 turn, maybe just doing 2 of these plays and not allowing myself to get to 8 comfortably. And that's where I think I have a little bit to learn about the list. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. But 4 cost here, using the Dawn -1 to get out the 7. I at least bring Lucci down into a very easy removable spot. I'm just going to go 7 to life here. I'm kind of banking on my opponent not having the removal for these 2 cards the turn after. We were able to cycle out draw a lot with Reiju, and hopefully we'll able to cycle even more of this the following turn using the stage effect. But a -2 to Reiju and buffing up the Moria once again, bottom decking the Reiju. I'm telling my opponent, like, bro, can you please stop drawing all the removal? It is crushing my heart and soul right now. But a really big 13k swing into the 7 cost. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to let that go. 5k I can get out of pretty freely. Another 5 I can get out of. And now he plays down the Borsellino. Yet again, back to 7 Dawn. Don't have the Judge play. I know that I'm looking really bad. Like, I have the ability to put down another 7 cost, but I think I'm praying to get a Queen here. So I end up using the 4 cost Reiju, drawing 3, and sadly, I do not draw a Queen. I knew that with my hand the way that it was, I was going to be in a bit of a pickle if I didn't draw into it, but I think I only had like 12 cards left, and that was my thought. But sadly, I think I end up drawing into a Queen right now, and you can kind of see me put my head down. I knew that Queen probably would have got me there, and now I have to pivot a little bit on, you know, what is the play. I end up just getting another 4 cost, putting that back to the bottom, and I know that Niji feels right. Yeah, Niji feels right to bounce the Borsellino and then swing 7 into life, hopefully get him to 0, and then be able to somehow like go for game the turn after. But pretty tough spot here. He does just counter out with the 2k and the Borsellino that we bounce back. I have 2 cards on the board though. That's at least like something for us. You know, if he's not able to remove everything again, then we have a pretty like decent chance, I suppose. But as we can see, he's got 2 blockers that he can just play down this turn. It's going to be pretty rough to try and get out of, I don't know, to get through that, I should say. Yep, so we're going to see the Sabo play first. Does end up picking up another Tashigi as well as brand new. It's not the worst thing in the world for us. Like, at least him not seeing like an Ice Age or Great Eruption here is, that maybe would have been what's worse. But I'll counter out of the 5k swing, and now we see another Tashigi search. He does have an option for a Hound Blaze, but he does end up just going with the counter power and picks up Helmeppo. Definitely just wants to stay, you know, just wants to stay like healthy, to where if I have some play this turn, he's not going to be unfortunately losing the game. But once again, back at 7 Dawn. Really need a Queen. Can't seem to find it. As much as Queen would have been nice as well, it really just depends on whether he can draw into. He just has so many outs for that. And I do decide to go for, I believe, 1 more try at getting the Queen. I have to play Reiju from hand to bring my hand size down to 5. I draw 3 and sadly, yet again, miss the card. So now I'm looking at my hand and I'm thinking, okay, I have to have an ungodly amount of counter in order for this to work. So I am just going to use 1 though, pitching the the Germa 6/6 event, and there's the Queen right at the top of the deck. I was 1 card away from drawing into it, so I was a little bummed out about that, but it is what it is. I was trying to cycle out all my dead cards this turn though, just so that I could pick up maybe a couple of counters and try and survive the following turn. But with my opponent having Moria on board, as well as me just not having, like realistically just not having much to work with, like he's got multiple swings, I just have counter. I have to somehow hope that I can survive, but the reality there is very slim. It's a very easy 2k counter for him though, swinging 6. I still have Reiju and Niji, but they're not going to get me there. I could get lucky and swing 5 with Reiju, and he rests the Borsellino and for some reason lets it die, but I know that that would still just give the Borsellino value. I have 3 Dawn left, and I kind of need to like bank on removing that card if I'm being completely honest. And that still drops a 1k counter from hand, which isn't great, but I'm going to swing 5 and just kind of hope that he does rest one of the Borsellinos, but unfortunately he's smart, and he gives me a 1k. Gives me a 1k, so I know that, you know, this 6k is just a free take for him. And now, with 3 Dawn left, I'm thinking, like, do I save the 1k or do I bounce the Borsellino? And I'm just going to bounce the Borsellino and hope that it puts him on maybe playing defensively this turn and not going for game. But a 9k swing to life. I give him 2 2ks and a 1k here. I did it quickly so that maybe he would think I had it. I have to give him 3 1ks for a 7k swing. And now it's just a very simple, very simple math judgment. He's just counting out the Dawn, 7k and 9. I lose. Unfortunate. But I think it was a super solid match overall. I think that I kind of high rolled a lot of my 4-cost cards, but I made mistakes. And then he definitely high rolled like a lot of the removal. Still having 2 Amas in hand, I was like, oh my god, you saw it all. But I think that when both decks high rolled, this is just such a great matchup. Yeah, I believe if I had played a little tighter, didn't make a few mistakes throughout the match, that I maybe could have gotten the win on this. But, it is what it is. You live and you learn. And, yeah, love to hear your thoughts, guys. And I'll catch y'all in the next one, all right? Peace.